and it certainly will reinforce why we are celebrating individual and team accomplishments throughout the day. And while we have a very impressive guest list of people in attendance, and I promise you this program is going to really impress you, before we begin, I'd like to invite co-interim president Father Killian to the stage to deliver a blessing for us all.
I know we're like non-base church, right? Yeah. Do you know where Emily is? Yeah. And she'll know.
Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you, and we're so delighted to see you, and we're so happy to be able to honor you, those of you of the soccer team, and also our special superstar, Shannon. Well, today we gather, I think, with hearts full of profound gratitude for the gathering, for the talents, and for the gifts of the individuals, for the coaches and family and friends who have played such an important role in helping each of the members of the soccer team and our superstar, Shannon, to achieve the amazing success that they have reached. And just as an aside, it was so inspiring for me to see so many of you coming in and seeing one another after probably a number of years, and the joy in your faces, and the delight to see one another again. What a wonderful blessing that is. So let's pause for just a moment so we will bless the food and ask God's blessing. Loving God, we are thankful for the food that is before us, and we are grateful for all those who have prepared it for us. We are grateful for the gift of friendship that we share. Loving God, enable us always to be instruments of your peace and your justice in our world, and may your peace be in our hearts and in the hearts of our family, our friends, and our loved ones. And may Almighty God bless all of you and bring peace to each of you. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Enjoy your dinner and your friendship.
Thank you, Father Killian, for such a warm blessing. Your words are incredibly poignant, especially speaking to community. This is a great illustration of it. At this time, it's my pleasure to welcome St. Martin's University's co-interim president, Dr. Roy Hendricks, to deliver some remarks on the state of the university.
Well, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to this wonderful event this afternoon. And I had shared with the attendees at the Distinguished Alumni Award Ceremony earlier this morning, and some of you were here, that I would try not to be repetitive in my comments this afternoon. So they might be a bit briefer. First of all, as you know, I retired a little over a year ago, and back in an interim position, I'm very pleased and excited to share the role with Father Killian Malby as serving as co-interim presidents during this time when a presidential search is underway for a replacement in the future. What's interesting is Catherine and I returned happily back to this community In fact, it's hard to tear her away from all of the sporting events on campus. It was hard to get her from the softball game over this afternoon for this event right now. And so it's a pleasure. We live on campus, and actually it's working out pretty well. There are often times I have to remind myself that I had this interim break for over a year. It sometimes feels as if I've never been away. There are so many friendly faces that I recognize and have been so supportive of our return. However, this event itself reminded me that indeed I did have a significant amount of time off, a little over a year, primarily because of the name of this event, this change. I was so pleased that Bob Grisham is being recognized as the name of this event, that this is the Bob Grisham Hall of Fame, Hall of Honor event. That speaks very highly of Bob. As you know, we were both destined to retire at the same time. And Bob and I had many conversations about our goals and plans for retirement. And it amazed me because there was a failed search for an athletic director, and Bob agreed to stay on while I retired. Of course, there are some people in our profession that say there is a failed search for a president. A president does not stick for longer than a year. That too could count as a failed search. So you see the parallels that I am back as well. But I truly miss Bob, but I am pleased to see that he is being recognized through this event, because it's always been a wonderful gathering of people focused on our student athletes and honoring those individuals that support the athletics program here at St. Martin's University. We are here today to celebrate Shannon Porter for her amazing accomplishments and the 2000 men's soccer team. I'm excited about that. Every year we add to the wall in the hallway of individuals that have been outstanding here. I have always said this over the time I have been here. I'm very excited to be part of a school that's Division II. And frankly, I have worked for schools that were Division I, and I prefer Division II. Thank you. It does deserve applause. Why? Because we have student athletes. They are both athletes, they perform and excel on the courts and in the field, but they're students as well. They're here for a degree. They're here for the education, for the learning, for the transformative experience of higher education. They excel in the classroom as well. I'm always proud to boast about that because their performance, academic performance, is actually higher than the general population of our students. Student athletes, you've always been the best time managers I know. You love your sport, you know you need to be in the classroom, you find ways to squeeze in the time to study, to get your reports done, everything necessary that you can graduate on time. And I'm so pleased that NCAA now allows that 5th year as well. So many of you can continue on to not only complete a degree, possibly a second degree or a minor as well. So that's part of the reason that I'm very excited about the programs here at St. Martin's University. This afternoon, when we're finished celebrating these, we have this wonderful opportunity to watch basketball right next door. So women compete and men compete as well. That's the beauty of holding this event this time of year when we can place it with a double header. As I said, there's many activities going on our campus today, and all of them it really display the very best about this university. So I'm excited about the honorees and hearing more about your individual stories. And let me conclude, as I always do at this event, go Saints.
Thank you, Dr. Hendricks, and thank you for your leadership in this time of transition. So as I mentioned earlier, we are very fortunate to be joined by a highly esteemed group of colleagues, alumni, coaches, parents, former student athletes, current student athletes. But sadly, there's one who is not here with us this afternoon, at least not in person. But this individual is already firmly entrenched in our Hall of Honor, a 2023 inductee, Jeannie Dahl. Her funeral was yesterday. Her funeral was yesterday at St. Mike's Parish in Olympia, and I know several people in the audience were there. Jeannie was an avid supporter of St. Martin's University, a saint down to her core. She and her husband Mike were fixtures at both men's and women's basketball games. And it was just a few weeks ago that when she passed, it was the night before a doubleheader. And as her family shared with me, Mike and her son and daughter shared, they thought, Jeannie would have wanted us to come to the game the next night. And sure enough, they did. She was there in spirit then, as she's here in spirit now. Let us pause for just a moment, reflect on her generous spirit, her warm smile, and her love of Saints athletics. Thank you. At this time, I want to recognize a number of the distinguished individuals who have joined us for this evening's event. Although Abbot Neil and Abbot Marion were unable to attend, they both send their regards, and we're very grateful for the other members of the monastic community who are here this evening, so wave for us, thank you. To our St. Martin's co-interim presidents, Dr. Roy Hendricks, his wife Kathleen, as well as Father Killian, thank you for your presence and leadership. The members of the St. Martin's Board of Trustees and National Alumni Board, I think I see members of both of those groups, wave your hands. Thank you guys and ladies. Members of our President's Cabinet, see a couple. Our head coaches and athletic department staff, as well as St. Martin's alumni from when it was a high school, its iteration as a college, and its present state as a university. And before kind of moving on to some of the substance of the evening, there's also three other groups that I want to recognize that are here this evening. First, our current student athletes. Kind of wave. We've got men's soccer, we've got track, we've got volleyball, women's soccer. I hope all of you take close note of the stories that you hear today, because based on the performances that I've seen in each of you competing, it's very possible that with continued focus and hard work, a few years from now, we're going to be celebrating your stories as they're celebrating those of the 2009 team and Shannon Porter this afternoon. Second, I'd like to thank all of our former student athletes from the soccer program, from track and cross country, but other former student athletes who are present. St. Martin's will always be your home, and it's wonderful to have you here with us this afternoon. And finally, going to the tradition of this Bob Grisham 34th Annual Hall of Fame and Hall of Honor induction ceremony, I'd like to ask all former inductees or current inductees of the Hall of Fame or Hall of Honor to please rise and be recognized. You all represent nearly 3.5 decades of athletic achievement here at St. Martin's University. And again, before getting into the accolades of our honorees and inductees this evening, many of you are probably anxious to hear, well, what has happened in Saints athletics since we last gathered a year ago? There's been lots of highlights, and I think it's important to take time to acknowledge them, because today's achievements really are laying the foundation for tomorrow's success stories. We're excited to have welcomed some new head coaches to our department. Natalie Marlowe, our new head women's basketball coach. You'll actually get a chance to hear from her in a special warming up with the Saints senior night edition at the end of this program. Nate Carlson, our cross country and distance coach. John Schultz, our track and field coach in the back of the room. And Tracy Lindbaum, our women's volleyball coach. In terms of academic achievements, these are not insignificant data points. Last spring, our senior women's golfer, Catherine Crimp, was named the university's valedictorian. It's only fitting because in 2022-2023, the women's golf program had the top GPA of a 3.73 within the GNAC conference. St. Martin's overall was third among all 10 GNAC schools in terms of cumulative GPA. Our cumulative GPA of our student athletes after this fall semester is at 3.39. When you consider that there's close to 240 student athletes, to maintain that high of an academic GPA, that's an impressive data point. We had over 106 student athletes in the past spring and this current fall who have received academic all-conference awards, and 43 of them receiving the GNAC Faculty Athletic Representative Awards for GPAs of 3.85 or higher. In terms of athletic achievements, and these are just a few, but this list continues to grow and continues to get more impressive year after year. In terms of individual GNAC titles, Ashley Brulin, a women's golfer, freshman, won the conference tournament last year. Alyssa Duncan, a long jumper, track and field. Cassidy Walchak Sloan, who's here, 1,500 meter track and field last spring. Cassidy also happened to be the cross-country program's second All-American as she finished 27th in the nation at the Division II NCAA Championships this past fall. Let's give her a round of applause. And last but certainly not least, and while it's only a fleeting moment in time, it's a very significant milestone. Last month, our men's basketball team became the very first program in St. Martin's University history to be ranked #1 nationally in 2 of the 3 major polls. Let's give them a round of applause. Now, I highlight these accomplishments. They're impressive. But they're happening within a broader context. And what's exciting about that context is that that is what is going to enable our teams to achieve greater heights in the future, to get there more frequently, and when they do get there, to have those accomplishments be of greater consequence. So many of you in this room have all supported the program through our Saints Athletic Excellence Fund, which we have QR codes on the back of the program as a vehicle to philanthropically support the programs. We've dramatically expanded our corporate and community partnerships. Again, important resources that add to the competitive success of these programs. And we have too many of these new partners to mention by name without risking missing someone here or there. And the last thing I'll say before we get into tonight's honorees is mentioning a pilot program that we had over this past basketball season. It was kind of coined Basketball for All. But the idea behind it was to take Saints athletics, and not only are they important for development purposes for the student athletes themselves, but they can really be a strategic asset to galvanize campus support and common cause, and draw in external members of the community to learn more about this hidden gem. We're excited the way that that has worked, and we look forward to building upon it in our softball and baseball seasons this spring. And next year, go ahead and mark your calendar now, St. Martin's has been selected to host the 2025 GNAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championship. All right, with the history out of the way of the past year, I wanted to share that in my time here, I've been here a year and a half, very big shoes to fill, and following Director of Athletics, Bob Grisham, I've tried to become a student of St. Martin's, the overall university, the history of this program, and the legacy of the individuals who've been inducted into our Hall of Fame and Hall of Honor. I've been struck by the volume and magnitude of the achievements of former student athletes, of coaches, of administrators, and other friends of the program. So now, in the 34th year of this event, and deservingly now bearing the name of former Director of Athletics Bob Grisham, this Hall of Fame and Hall of Honor induction ceremony has truly become a cornerstone of homecoming weekend and the crown jewel among our athletic signature events. So this afternoon, we begin by honoring a former student athlete who made a name for herself in 2 sports, becoming a 3-time All-American and our first in women's cross country. From 2015 to 2017, the outdoor 10,000 meters, indoor 3,000 meters, and cross-country events across every spectrum were dominated by this individual. I know we've mentioned her name already, but indulge me with the build-up and anticipation here. Within months of coming to St. Martin's, she posted a top 10 finish at the NCAA's Outdoor Track and Field Championships. And over the next 2 years, her accolades soared, with 3 All-American nods, a 6-time All-Region selection, 7-time GNAC Athlete of the Week honorees, and still a holder of 7 St. Martin's University school records. She's still running competitively today and even qualified for the U.S. Olympic trials. Now, my wife and I were both intercollegiate, cross-country, and track athletes. We know some of the demands, mentally challenging part of the sport, and its largely unglamorous nature. So all the more reason that we are excited to honor her achievements here today. So at this time, I'd like to invite Shannon Porter from the class of 2017 up to the podium. Welcome to the Bob Grisham Hall of Fame.
Thank you guys. I'm so happy to be here. It feels really surreal to be back. I live in Arizona now, and it's been 8 years since I've been back. And it feels crazy because my path to St. Martin's was kind of unconventional in a way. I actually started out my collegiate career at Boise State University, and I came from this small school in Hawkinson, Washington, and I thought graduating high school that I needed to compete with the very best girls in the country if I wanted to be the best. And I know he mentioned that Division I could be overwhelming and Division II can be better for some, and that truly was the path for me. I struggled not only in running but also in the classroom because my class sizes were 200 plus students. The professors didn't know my name, and I wasn't taking like anywhere in the top 10 in races, and I felt so overwhelmed. And when I left Boise, I really wasn't sure if I would even start running again or even go back to college. And I really credit my parents who are here tonight for not letting me give up on my dreams of still running competitively and being a student athlete. And so I went the junior college route, which I know some people come from that route to St. Martin's, and that was my story. And I finally made my way to St. Martin's, and I just fell in love with the trails behind campus. That is truly the reason why I came. There's a lot of good reasons, but I did one run at the Capitol Forest and one run behind campus, and that was it. I was sold. Also, like the buildings on campus I love, and I met the team, and it was just this like amazing, welcoming environment. And I found my place here. I really felt like I belonged, which I never felt in Division I. And even community college, I was trying to find that balance of still making a name for myself, but not getting lost in the crowd. So I just want to share a few memories. Most Sundays or sometimes Saturdays, I would do long runs with the boys team at the time, and we'd go to Capitol Forest. And I look back on those mornings as some of the best mornings of my life. They were ridiculous and muddy, and we were always so tired, but it was great. Father Killian's here today, and he was my favorite professor. He gave me a piece of advice that I really had stuck with me this whole time. And he was my literature teacher, I think, at the time, but he taught me in a few classes, but he told me that really college is this experience that if you can gain the ability to look at someone else's viewpoint, that is really what matters more than what you were trying to memorize for a test or like cram for. It's more like opening your mind to someone else's point of view, and I'm so thankful for that because I really try to do that still. So I really love Father Killian. I would go to his office and he'd always ask me, how's and you do this motion. And I'd be like, it's good, Father Kelly, it's good. So just really good memories here. I remember going to the chapel to pray, and I would be praying for like making it to nationals or setting a personal best. And looking back, I probably should have prayed for bigger issues, but I was in my 20s, so that's where I was at. I really love my memories here. I could go on and on about that. Currently, my life in Flagstaff, Arizona is all about my family. I have a 4-year-old son, and like was mentioned before about student athletes being good multitaskers, I feel like I've carried that skill into motherhood and running. It's all about balancing it. And as was mentioned, this year I made the U.S. Olympic trials in the marathon, which was that was like such a lifelong goal. I have 2 sisters, and they also made it to the Olympic trials marathon, and so it's just been an incredible thing to join them in that. And, I'm just really happy to have made that goal and be a part of that. I look back on my time here, and I know, like I truly know in my heart, this period of life at St. Martin's set up the foundation for my current success. Division II is special. You don't get as burned out. You don't feel this overwhelming sense of pressure. There's more care that goes into the student athletes and more care on teams, and especially here at St. Martin's. I mean, I'm just really thankful for that, because a lot of athletes stop running or competing after college, and I feel really lucky to have been able to continue that on. I owe a big thank you just to the university in general, my coaches, my teammates, some of them are here today, my classmates, my professors, and my friends, to Bob Grisham as well. I really do miss him. To the team and coaches here now, it's so cool to meet some of you guys. I'll be cheering from the sidelines, and those records on the wall are just meant to be broken, so I hope they just keep coming down, because that's what it's all about. I'll just watch the culture here grow, and I think that is a really cool thing that is being fostered right now. Running it's just been running. That's all it is. You know, it's just running. But what I've gained from it is just the people and places I've been, especially the people and my experiences here. That's more what it's about, and I'm realizing it's always just been about them. Thank you. Thank you for having me, and go Saints.
Thank you very much, Shannon. That group in back, they are a testament to the tradition you've begun. And so thank you for the long-standing contribution you've made to Saints Athletics. Now, the second group that we'll be honoring this afternoon is a team credited with another important historic first. A team led by a coach with a long and accomplished history of his own at St. Martin's. Now, St. Martin's University was one of the founding members of the Division II Great Northwest Athletic Conference in 2001, but it would take nearly a decade before the Saints would win a coveted conference championship. And ironically, this achievement came only 3 years after this particular program had been elevated to varsity status. Now, this team featured Zan Nixon, Zach Lubin, Ruben Orozco as first-team all-conference players, and an additional 7 other Saints that were listed as second team or honorable mention on the season. Head coach Rob Walker, our longest tenured coach among our current staff, was instrumental in forging that team into champions and reuniting them for this special induction ceremony today. Actually, I want to give them a round of applause for just the participation rate today. It's like 90-95% of the team. that right there speaks volumes about what a close-knit unit you guys are. So now, Zach Lubin, a Hall of Fame, wait, one more thing, Rob. Rob was also the GNAC Men's Soccer Coach of the Year that year, and he was coaching both programs at the time, and he was actually named the co-coach for the women's program that year as well. So Rob. And now, representing the 2009 Saints men's soccer team, Zach Lubin, a Hall of Fame inductee from 2019 in his own right, co-captain of that 2009 team, will now make some comments on behalf of the team's induction into the Bob Grisham Hall of Honor.
When I got inducted, I didn't get to make it. It was a lot easier to do this on camera and get to run through the speech a couple times than up here. But I want to congratulate Shannon. Incredible honor. Happy to share this with you. And you know, something she said, and a lot of what I reflected on too about this is like being here and being at a Division II school is a little different. And I've been fortunate enough to play pro soccer for a decade afterwards. And talking to those guys and teammates, they didn't have the same kind of experience that we got to share. And that's a lot of what I talked about here and thought about through all of this. And so, yeah, and as I sat down and reflected on this, it's kind of crazy to think that like this happened in 2009, it was 15 years ago. I was shocked myself when I came to that realization. But you know, we won our school's first championship, but we actually won the GNAC Beer Pong Championship long before 2009. That's for sure. You know, a lot has to come together to win a championship, and that's what I want to recognize today. It's not just that one moment, that one season that we did end up winning, but it's about the times before and what you know, what had to come together to make that moment happen. It took a lot of personal sacrifice, getting up early, 6 a.m. workouts. You know, we had an awesome group of freshmen who volunteered to shave their heads for camaraderie. You know, special moments like that. And then just the support of everyone in this room too. Our families that drove us to games and practices. You know, it takes a lot. It takes Zan, you know, being an All-American that season, and really the only way to stop him was to hurt him, and they did, and they pretty much broke his ankle, and he still played. And that's truly like what I want to touch on the most. It's teammates that become brothers, and then those brothers and their families becoming like family of our own. And then to be able to come together now and celebrate all of this together. That's my favorite part of winning that season and what it means to me. And it's incredible to see this St. Martin's family come together and see it grow. And others have contributed more to that growth, like Paul and Vlad, that are going to have a soccer team themselves. You know, it was the challenges that brought us together. It was the 6 a.m. workouts in the broom closet before we had, you know, the Winning Spirit campaign that brought the rec center. But we definitely shed, and something that makes us amazing is we all grew up together and matured at the same time as the school. The Winning Spirit campaign brought a lot of buildings, but some of us were definitely already men. Jesse Ramos reminded us that he was a 30-year-old man, and the crazy part is, he's still a 30-year-old man. He's got Benjamin Buttons. I don't know like how. That's living 1 year. So we really don't know how old he is. But that's what makes this championship and this team so special, because prior to us, there wasn't a winning spirit here at St. Martin's. My girlfriend Kelsey asked me yesterday, we were walking around, and what was that feeling, winning, like what made it so special? And it was the difficulty. It was feeling like we weren't supposed to win, that we were always the underdogs. St. Martin's was this small school, and some of you guys don't know what it looked like before all these new buildings went up and before the rec center was there. Literally, like, the gym that we were working out in was, this small corner, like I said, a broom closet. So that's what made it so great, is we really weren't supposed to win, and we paved the path for all sports now to like come together. And we broke down the barriers for teams to step up and win, and they have. Our cross-country team has won, softball has won, all these other sports, and now there's multiple banners up there in the gym. So we did something difficult, and you need a lot of support to make that happen. You need your family to take care of you. You need and like I said, our teammates' families became like our own. Victor's parents probably fed me more than the cafeteria. The first time I met Austin's family was at the Chinese restaurant on the corner, and Phil orders the whole menu just so, like, I'm a big man, I like to eat. They know the way to my heart, and it was all those moments like that. It was going to team dinners at Daniel Palermo's house and Vlad's family all feeding us, and that's really what made us come together and win. It's having that constant support that led to winning, and my favorite part of winning that year is today. Is being able to come back together and celebrate as a family and as a group and introduce each other to the next generation of St. Martin's family that's here today. It's no surprise that we won. We supported each other like family. Tony remembers every moment of that season in games, but for me, I remember the moments off the field and after playing. We were at a Catholic university and everyone went to Mass on Sundays, but we had our own communion at the Arbors every Sunday. That's for sure. And the moments after playing, coming together for weddings and bachelor parties, even when you try to fight all your friends, but we're still here today to enjoy and celebrate together. So, and while we're here because we won a championship, we're really all in the Hall of Honor because that's how we approach athletics and academics. It's a tradition of excellence that everyone on this team continues to uphold in their personal and professional life. Looking around and seeing the family, the St. Martin's family grow, I know our community is in good hands as these dedicated family men are raising the next generation of SMU family. So congrats to all the players, congrats to all the family who helped contribute to winning to that championship and setting the tone for this university to continue to go and win championships. And congrats to everyone who supported us on that road to winning. And most importantly, I have to recognize Rob. He's been through it all. He's been here from the start. And no one was more dedicated to creating a culture of winning. But most importantly, he cared about developing young boys into men as they walked out of St. Martin's University. While this 2009 team is being recognized, he was the coach of that 2009 team, and it was a pleasure. It was an honor to go from having him as a coach to then coaching alongside of him, getting to know him as a human being. And I know that I owe my professional career to Rob Walker. So again, round of applause for Rob.
Okay, I got to keep this tight because we got basketball games and all kinds of stuff that have to happen in here. But I'm going to riff really quick. First of all, Misters Emerson, Blake, and Palmer tell us this. They say, "Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Come inside, come inside, come inside. Come inside to see the show. The show's about to begin. It's guaranteed to blow your mind." And it goes on like that. Now at 5:45 a.m. when the boys come in to lift, that's also what's coming right out. Okay, so a few things. First of all, Shannon Porter, congratulations on your honor. We are honored to be here with you. What you did is so significant, and we're just so happy to be here with you. Father Killian was my thesis advisor. I had never met Father Killian because he was gone to Harvard for a couple years while I came here. This was about my 7th university. I graduated with over 100 credits, and none of them were distinguished. So when it came time to pick a thesis topic, he thought it was a great idea until it was rejected, and then he said, oh, it looks like you're going to have to do this over again. So you learn a lot from error, and you learn a lot from trials, you learn a lot from all of that. And that's mostly what I spend every day with these guys from 2009, and I've got guys with an average GPA of about 3.85 sitting at that table, because I always do. And that's what we do here, okay? We have only one banner hanging in there. I wish we had more from men's soccer, but our job is to go from this tiny Catholic university of 1,250 on average, turn boys to men, and then ask them to go change the world. That is our job. That's what we do. And we do it pretty well. This group here, we have financial planners, we've got teachers, we've got doctors. One broke his nose today. So, who knew? And we've got an astronaut, a cosmonaut. We've got everybody. We've got firefighters. We've got everybody here. And we just go about our business, and that's what we do. And that's what everybody in the department does. A lot of them are out, they're on the road, and they can't be here, but that's what we do. All right, so I got to do a couple things here. A few years ago, we lost Austin Kelly, number 14. He was a sophomore in 2009. He played in about 4 or 5 different positions for us. He came as a walk-on, and I put him on scholarship his freshman year. And he ultimately became a co-captain. He was all GNAC, he was all academic, and we lost him. His family, sitting right back here, is here, and I want to introduce them. I'd like you to give them a big round of applause. So Morgan and Ryan, his daughter, Corbin and brother. When we travel with AK-14 on our collar, on our sleeves. He's with us always. Okay, love that boy. Love him. Okay, just a couple other quick things. Yesterday, Dr. Blockpoint said, I want to break a sweat and get out and play with the boys. So I have extremely long arms. If I put Zach Lubin next to me, my arms are almost as long as his are. And so I said, Vlad, this, and I said, you're welcome with open arms. And I thought, oh, this will last. He'll warm up and kick the ball around and then be done. At the end of the 2 hours, I was ready to offer Vlad another scholarship under an assumed name. I'm coming up with a name. I'll talk to you about it later. So anyway, it was great to have him out. But that's the fabric of how our program works. And then we had some guys out this morning for a little kick around. Somebody broke Vlad's nose, it was bleeding. The word said, everything is back to normal. So anyway, I'm just so proud of these guys. We have plaques that you're reading and you get a quarter zip. But what I really want is I want St. Martin's to always be in your heart. Know that when you play for me, I'm here for you always. Always. So, we're just about out of time. So, I'd like you to rise. I think we have about 27 guys. Some of them, we have a guy, I just have to tell this story, just quick. There's this kid called Money Mike. He was from out of state. He flew in, and we run this little fitness test every year at the start. The guys are giggling now, because this is funny. Money Mike thought, okay, I'll get through the fitness test. We run these 300 yards, 50-yard shuttles. You run it 6 times. Got to make it in 51.5 seconds, and you run it 4 times. And you're running on 3 minutes. If you're fit, no problem. If you're not fit, you vomit. It's that simple. It's cause and effect. Or, like Money Mike, after he ran the first one in about 34.3 seconds, thinking, hey, what's the big deal with this? Well, the big deal is he had to run 3 others, and he made it about 100 yards into the next run, and I thought we were have to call the monks in and be an exploration. So anyway, there are some guys that aren't here today that we just have lost track of. But when I call your name, guys, just stand up. Tony Armitage. Kramer Rock. Where's Carly? Carly? We love Victor. Where's Carly too? Great. Sergio Lopez. Zach Rubin. Blake Moreland, Dr. Blake Moreland, whose birthday it is today. Sam Nixon. Jay O'Hara, Eric Orozco, Ruben Orozco, Jesse Ramos, Dylan Russingham, Spencer Salvador, is Autumn. In 2007, Autumn had the only iPhone on our team that helps us get places. Thank you, Autumn. Autumn, what the hell happened to your hair, dude? Autumn, I've been telling you it's a 4 and a 3. It works out great. Okay. James Schmid, Dr. James Schmid. Chad Pitt. Paul Schmitke. Brandon Scott. Former assistant coach for Biggie. Love you, Brandon. Well, soccer squad, boy. PJ Young. Did I miss you? Are everybody here? Huh? Oh, no, I don't know. I'm covering. All right, you guys can sit down. All right, the last thing I have to say is there's 2 guys that are here with the team that graduated in 2008 because they came to us from Highline College, where they played for my good friend Jason Provost, who's a top coach and a top man. And they came here and they were co-captains. And without them, we would not have gone as far in 2009 as we did. So I want to introduce Daniel Palermo and Tucker. And I know we're running out of time, but you don't get to induct a team this big and not just get the opportunity to just say thank you to all of you. I want to say thank you to the folks at my table. Chandler Lee, you're the bright apple of my life. Janie, hi. Okay. So I love all of you, and thank you. Thanks.
Rob, Zach, that gave me chills. That was really impressive, and I can see why this team was so successful on the pitch. Obviously, those of you who have been a part of this ceremony today, I want to invite you now to come back and be a part of it again in the future. Again, you look around this room, we have a lot of current student athletes. I guarantee you several of them are going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame and Hall of Honor come the future. We want you to be here to celebrate that moment with them. Now, before we put a bow on the 34th anniversary of the Bob Grisham Hall of Fame and Hall of Honor induction ceremony, let's have one more round of applause for Shannon Porter and the 2009 men's soccer team. A little footnote here, I am very impressed with Coach Walker, your ability to have a very tight 10 minutes. He promised me as we were kind of mapping this thing out, he goes, I guarantee you, Zach and I will be right on time, and I have no doubts about cross-country runners sticking with a tight timetable. So nice job on the operational details. Everybody should have received a ticket to tonight's basketball doubleheader. If not, on your way out the door, there should be tickets back there. We want to invite everyone to join us at Marcus Pavilion. We're facing University of Alaska at Fairbanks tonight. Important senior night games for both the women's and men's basketball teams. In fact, we're going to be inviting Coach Natalie Marlowe up to provide a little senior night sneak preview scouting report of our opponent as we wrap things up here. So please kind of stick around for a moment. And then afterwards, we want to invite all the inductees over to this area where we'll take pictures so that we can commemorate. Please bring your plaques, your quarter zips for that. I want to extend a special thanks first to Bon Appetit, exceptional buffet. Let's give them a round of applause. I want to thank Dr. Hendricks, Father Killian, Emily Tate, all members of the Bob Grisham Hall of Fame, Hall of Honor Selection Committee. It's been chaired by Scott Gladstone, our Assistant AD for Sports Communications. Committee obviously did a great job this year in our honorees and selecting our honorees. One last opportunity to recognize all of tonight's inductees. At halftime of the men's game, we will have these programs, program and Shannon back out at half court in front of an even larger audience. So I invite you to join us for that. And once again, I want to thank all of you for attending this evening. Thank you for being saints. Thank you for your support of St. Martin's University. Have a great evening. Go Saints. I want to encourage people to kind of stay. We're actually about 5 minutes ahead of schedule right now, so kind of stay. You have more to say? Oh.